Okay. So if septicemia, toxic. Now the doctors did use the term septicemia and sepsis interchangeably. It's probably not as good to use it that way as they do, but nonetheless they do. All right. In this book, so they don't confuse statistics, they're going to take the term septicemia. However, more current terminology makes a distinction between sepsis and septicemia. If I were to say that you had septicemia, if you've got toxins in the blood, if you are septic, what would you say that would mean? Would that be worse or less so than septicemia?
I think if you were septic, to me, I feel like they both mean the same. There's poisoning in the blood, and then there's
But I think
poisoning
you'll find
either somewhere else. I just look at it as it means the same almost.
I think typically you'll find that doctors have grown to think of the word as septic as being even worse than septicemia. But the book here is going to classify it together. All right, now go down to the last paragraph on page 91. For those in a different book, it starts out, a diagnosis of septicemia can neither be assumed nor ruled out on the basis of laboratory values alone. That's critical. Just because the lab report says or doesn't say that you've got any toxins, there's more to it than that. Negative or inconclusive blood cultures do not preclude a diagnosis of septicemia. I may have all the symptoms clinically of septicemia, but my blood culture may come back negative. Does that mean that I don't have septicemia? No. It means that maybe it's not developed enough yet to show in the lab tests. So if I'm still showing the clinical signs of septicemia and I've got a negative blood culture, what's the doctor probably going to do next?
Probably do another test.
Another blood culture. That's
and
exactly
give it time
right.
to
24
develop.
hours later, maybe 12 hours later, he's going to do another blood culture because it might be that the septic situation of your body is exhibiting itself clinically, but it hasn't made it to the bloodstream yet.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's waiting for there to be enough bacteria or viruses or whatever to actually show up in the blood culture. But now that last sentence is critical. A code for septicemia is assigned only when the physician makes a diagnosis of septicemia. It is not within our power or expertise to ever make somebody septic if they're not septic.
Okay.
And that brings us to the 3 o'clock.